umefika. Tuambie kitu. What stood out for you? It doesn't have to be yesterday. Maybe since day 1. Today's day 4. What has stood out for you? One thing or two things? Go ahead.
Okay.
Finya hiyo kitu kwanza ndigwe on bana. Sawa.
So for me, it's the entertainment.
Entertainment?
Yeah.
Ilikuwa inakushika.
Ilikuwa
Gani sasa? Awa.
So one, and the other one was the poet yesterday. Malenga 001. Yeah.
Sawa. It's part of it, man. It's part of the program. Tuko hapa pia kujivinjari kidogo, sio?
Thank you.
Asante sana. Na hebu mwenzako pia anasemaje? Ama wana discuss anasema mimi tuambie pia na sign language itakuwa inafurahisha sana. Tutapewa interpretation hapa ama vipi? Hapo jana. Kuna mwingine pale. Nilikuwa nataka moja ya sign language ikuje bana. I like it. And I hope the camera can capture that as anatuambia. Pale kuna vitu zinaendelea pale. Mimi sijabarikiwa kujikwelea lakini naona wakiongea tu. Sasa nani ataongea sasa ndio watu wasikie? Akikumbuka atasema. Asante, nimesikia hivyo. Akikumbuka vitu zilikuwa nyingi sana. Watu wanafungua notes Haya. Please pass the microphone to another different place. I'll show you where. Nani hao wanajisikia kusema 1 2 3 pale? Kuna mtu volunteer yote pale ama nilete tu Haya, come this way, cross this way. Pande pale. The two beautiful ladies there. Unaona pale? Hapo. Pitisha tu. Wacha tuambie 1 or 2 3 things. Yes, there you go. What stood out for you over the time? Anything that you want to share? Watu wanapitisha kipaza sauti sawa basi. Ni wewe basi umepewa. Haya, twende.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Moses Mzungu, and yesterday was quite a good day because we learned a lot. And most importantly, we learned about the job market in the coastal area.
Yeah.
And also we got to be taught how to make CVs and making those connections. And the evening session was about mentorship, and I learned a lot about that.
Kabisa.
Yeah.
You're right. I love that. Na pia sasa CV jana ulikalia kidogo ama bado?
Pardon?
Umekalia hiyo CV yako bado ama umeitengeza sasa?
Yeah, nilirekebisha na sasa tuko good to go.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Asante sana.
Thank you.
Bwana James, nangoja unipe signal, mimi nitaendelea tu hapa. Sawa? Aya, asante sana. Pass the microphone to one of the other persons. Go ahead.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Elias Safari. And what I learned yesterday is realizing my value and rebuilding it. Yeah.
Realizing your value and rebuilding it. Kabisa.
Yeah.
Everybody is valuable here. Kabisa. Asante sana. Pitisha pale pia.
Good morning. Yes, my name is Hussein Mwatela. The thing that interested me yesterday is just the sign language. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Msijasikia lakini ni sawa. Mbona watu wanakucheka pale bana? Kwani iko sawa sasa. Imetosha. Asante. Wapi makofi kwa wale ambao wametusaidia kidogo. Thank you so much. One of the key things that we must recognize as young people, it's important to note that the world is not waiting to bring you the favors. Sometimes you have to stand out, walk out, go look for those opportunities. And one of those is to speak out to yourselves. I like what you've said. Jana mliambiwa nini hiyo CV tengeneze vitu kama zile. It's very important. But we also have the online CVs, is it? Sindio? Kama wewe kazi kwako tukienda Facebook, tukienda wapi kwingine? X, tukienda kwingine tunakuta tu TikTok zako tu ni kucheza tu, hakuna chochote pale. When will you ever think of you as a business person or someone who offers anything? So you want to be a person who sometimes generates value by what as well we can read about you online. The online CV is the LinkedIn, si ndio? Wengine hata hamko huko bana, mnasema hiyo kitu ni gani? Yet it's an online CV. So it's very important because some people you may not have the times to send these hard copies, those kind of things, but people can read about you through their LinkedIns and get to know what you do. Sawa sawa? Yeah, so the connections you have as well speak a lot about that. Sawa sawa? So tupatane kule. So let's keep growing ourselves. And it starts by simple things, as even you sharing what you're doing here, what you're learning here, those kind of things. So very important, very important. Leo nimeona watu wengi sana wanataka kukati kule nyuma. Watu wa nyuma tunawashukuru. Ketini tu huko. Mko sawa, sawa sawa. Thank you so much. Now, we have one of the key innovators today. We have Tony Odipo, Oceania Pacesetter Mombasa Plastics prize winner. So I want you to give him this chance, a few minutes to come and say something to us. Makofi tafadhali to Tony Odipo akija. Tony Odipo, njoo tafadhali. Nimesikia uko hapa. Tony uko wapi? Ako wapi Tony? I was told he's around. Tony, are you here? Going once, going twice? Just checking around? I think Maina who said presentation, Amani. Okay. So is Tony here, really? Maybe one of the volunteers can tell me whether he's around. Just checking out. I don't see him. So I think we will call him later on. Okay. Thank you. So now, DJ tuko sawa kidogo. Asante. Nikuteste? Okay. Iko kabisa nimesikia. So once again, guys, as I was speaking about the importance of these particular soft skills, one of the ways is through your communications, how you communicate online and the rest of those kind of things. So take up these challenges. There's a lot of people coming here today and others even joining us, and you're best not letting these opportunities pass you by. Walk to them, talk to them, get to know the people, get to know these contacts, and present yourselves out. Online, and I hope our tech team is ready for this, online we have an amazing gentleman that I have interacted with, and I think we were at some point together in a Mombasa summit, not Mombasa, it was actually in Kisumu, and we were talking with young people, and he was there and was very vocal in terms of helping young people develop, and he has worked a lot, especially in this country, to ensure that we have systems that are growing. So ladies and gentlemen, I just want to check and confirm that the tech team can confirm with me if our online guest Bitange Nemo is ready to speak. So Bitange, wherever you are, if you could start over your camera so we can see you. I'm just about to welcome you. And Bitange Nemo will be speaking to us. He's the ambassador of Kenya in Belgium. And he's going to be speaking to us right now. So I hope you guys can pay attention and listen to him as he speaks to us. So Bitange Nemo, if you could kindly start over your camera so we can be able to see you. We'll be so glad once we can see your face and allow you in. And I hope you can hear me from where you are. We can see the B, so that means we're about to see his face, and then he can start us off and get started. So Bitange, if you can hear me, we understand time is not on your end. That's why we want to give you the first priority to start us off. Yes, sir. Good morning. I don't know whether it's morning where you are, but how are you?
I'm fine. Can you hear me?
Very well and clear, and I think the people also can see you very well. So I want to give you this minutes to get started. The young people are here ready to listen to you.
Thank you so much. I want to thank the organizers, my friends, for asking me again to come and address you from this part of the world. I am speaking to you on a very key area which is emerging. From 2019, I've been part of the group that has been looking at the disruptions in the education sector. This is a group that is called Global Learning Council. We've been having meetings looking at the impact of technology in learning. And this is going to impact everybody. It could be good for the people because we are looking towards having a more inclusive systems of education, which will look at many aspects vastly dominated by artificial intelligence. And eventually, at some point, with machine learning, we probably have new, what we call large language models in many of the local African languages, which can be used to teach. This is because research has widely proven that when people learn in their vernacular, the comprehension levels are very high. And hopefully we get some solutions quickly that we can begin also to test. But besides that, either way, education is going to be transformed by the emerging technologies. This is what use of AI, which will dominate in the space, which would make it much easier and more cost-effective in the delivery of the programs. Why we are saying this, there are technologies like virtual technology, virtual reality, which are going to simplify some of the complex learning material. I remember when I did biology, which was a long time ago, the teacher used to draw an apple on the board, 2 dimensions, and a cross in between, and he would insist that we memorize that that was the heart. And one portion is called left ventricle, right ventricle. It was very difficult to understand what the teacher was saying. Nevertheless, if you look at the modern teaching aids, it makes it much simpler for anybody to understand because it has been simplified. When they talk about the metaverse, it is not the things you see that are being tested, but it's going to be used more extensively in education so that we are able to benefit from that space. The reason why we must begin to talk about this is because some of you who have seen what AI can do understand that the change is underway. And it can't be that we would use the same memorization methods that we use. Those methods were methods that were proposed by some philosophers centuries ago, and then they defined our systems of learning, which was basically based on behavior, and the assumption was that if you memorize something, you will be able to know it at some point later. But then, even then it was challenged by other philosophers or academics like Piaget, who said that alone cannot, people cannot learn. And they proposed new ways, which they called constructivism, which are very helpful in the way that we study in groups. People learn from others when they are in groups and they are able to comprehend. Some of you recall we had even some proposals by the Pavlov experiments that he did in Russia using dogs. That environment has got something with our learning. But nevertheless, if we move faster forward, the entry of technology has changed the philosophy of learning by coming with a new style of learning. They call it connectivism, meaning that if you are connected, it's very easy now to leverage what Piaget said in terms of constructivism and this other theory which we call connectivism, that you can create groups either in the US or in Ghana, Nigeria, and create groups through the connectivity to study as a group and learn from other people, then you are able to learn. This is where it reached. But now what has happened very recently is an emerging, anything that changes the systems of education is a lot of studies that go into it, and that's what we call the theories that help us to understand new ways of doing things. We suspect that the one that is coming is called augmentalism, which augments. So from now on, you would get the systems to augment your learning. How does this happen? You have an idea in your head, for example, and you don't know where to begin. So the systems would augment your thinking, and then you come out with your own creativity or creative work. This is where artificial intelligence has come into space to augment our methods of learning, to be able to understand some of the concepts more deeply, so that we can be able to use those concepts to change our lives. Because every change that we have, or everything we do, is usually underpinned by some new methodologies of learning, which helps us to do things much more simply than we have done before. Now, for example, if you go to ChatGPT and you say, I want to make an application for a job, this is the job, and this is my qualification, this is what I think. Even if you put it in the format that I've talked, it would augment your thinking and provide you with the structure, which is not necessary to memorize, but systems can augment that to help you to be able to understand the application of those technologies. So it is not going to be very difficult to understand which areas of technologies. But for another good example, which would help us to deeply get into spaces that we have never ventured in, a lot of people grow up and die without ever telling their story, which would change the lives of many other people. It's much simpler now to leverage this augmentation, meaning using AI to help you tell your story, and others can learn from that story. Even our cultural past, we would be able to reconstruct it, because we have systems that augment our processes of doing things that would help us sustain both the language, sustain both the culture, and also augment us to the space of creating new art or technology or art, creative art that would help us know many other things. So what you're supposed to remember from here, it is that the debates that people have, that now that ChatGPT has come, everybody would cheat, that's nonsense. The systems would know when you are cheated, and systems would know that this person put his brain into thinking, and we have this outcome, and the person most likely understands. Now, another area that is going to be very critical is that having been a teacher for many years, I see how students learn, or how they struggle to understand things. And sometimes they just memorize it to regurgitate it in the exam, which doesn't help, because when they graduate, they have already forgotten everything. So what is going to happen is that AI, if you teach it properly, and it requires a human being to teach it what we call machine learning, so that it understands what it does to a human being to be able to be effective. It can read your face properly and know under what circumstances that you comprehend or understand, or when you have understood. Meaning that it's going to be more easy, because I know Some people are good at learning maybe at late at night, others are good at learning in the morning, others struggle to understand things in certain ways if they are presented in certain ways. Once AI understands the conditions under which you are able to comprehend, it can deliver content within those conditions, which is something teachers cannot do. Now, I know some of you are thinking, so what would be the role of the teacher? The teachers would be there and will be part of what we call the augmented systems, meaning that we test you not on how much you have memorized, but on how good you have become with developing solutions to the many of the problems that exist in the world. So instead of us beginning to debate, and that is the biggest problem that we have always had, debate something that the outcome will still remain the same, meaning that people would continue with these systems to learn and they become better, while we question whether they are doing, whether it is right to use the systems to be able to learn. What you need to get from here is that the world has changed, and everything is going to be augmented. So if you begin to understand it that way, then we succeed. I'll give you an example where we kept on arguing, and then the entire world changed, and we are trying to catch up from behind. When you are selling a banana on the street, or selling something on the street, or buying something on the street, if you look at Americans, they don't look at the population of America as the total number of people who can buy their product. They look at 8 billion people in the world that they are potential customers. If you look, Facebook. Hello? Hello?
Yes, go ahead. We were hearing you, sir. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, I thought I'll finish. And if that's a warning that I finish, I'll finish in a few minutes. A few seconds. So if you look at, are you able to hear me clearly?
Yes, we can. We can hear you
Yes.
very well. Go ahead.
So their products have been targeting the entire world. The Chinese learned quickly, they're doing the same. But we still continue with the physical person who can buy the product from us when competitors are coming from China, US, now Europe. We must change our mindset to be able to provide for the entire world using the systems that I was talking about. So let's embrace these new technologies that have come to change our learning methods, to help many of us learn, to be able
Anybody want to engage Ambassador with any question, something that you want to pop up? Just lift up your hand, then a microphone will come to you. Anybody? Going once? Going twice? Is that a question that you wondered whether mic can come to you? No, I don't think there's anything like that. But anyway, Ambassador, let me ask you one question on their behalf. When you look at, because now you're positioned there in Belgium, and you're in a place where you're able to compare, because you've spent a lot of time here and seen these are a lot of the people who are here, young people, and we are really talking about matters innovation. You've been at the forefront of really speaking about this for the many years around. When you look at the young people in Belgium versus what we are doing, how far or how soon do we need to pull up our socks so that at least we can be at that level where innovations are even being exported globally? I I just wanted you to throw that point in for the people.
You know, you are speaking, I think you repeat, you are talking about young people.
Yes.
How far, what is the question?
The question is, when you compare us to the young people in Belgium, since you've been observing them there, what do we need to do better?
I think we should not be thinking that the entire world is structured, that you must finish college before you become an entrepreneur. We need to begin when we are young, to think of new ways of doing things, and we can execute that at any time. The benefits that we have over everybody else globally is that God has been very good and blessed us with so many problems, because innovation comes from problems.
Okay.
If you tackle a major problem, that is where innovation is. Now, if we are not solving those problems, you will find young people from the Western world coming to Africa to solve those problems for us. It is us who know where the shoe pinches, and we should know how to deal with the pinch.
Okay.
That is what it is all about.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ambassador. We appreciate you for your time.
Thank you.
Asante sana. Let's appreciate the ambassador with the club, even as he leaves. Asante sana. Great.
Salimia Mahmoud.
Mahmoud ako hapa amekusalimia, anasema amesikia maneno yote.
Asante sana.
Asante, asante. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the ambassador, Bitang Ndemo, Belgium, all the way in Belgium, speaking to us about what he's observing and what we can do to take advantage of this. Natumai tumesikia, I hope we have heard. Unajua mambo si kusema tu, si ndio? We have a chance, and especially in innovation, we have a chance to compete globally. Just like what we see M-Pesa doing, our own innovation. Innovation can cross counties, countries, continents, all the way, all the way. Yeah, DJ, you want me to make some noise?
It is not easy to see a young man in a court in Mombasa at this time. Over to you, Tony.
Thank you very much, Muthini. I appreciate it. You always put on courts every day, so it is not that it's a new thing in Mombasa. So good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Apana, Apana. The youths around, let us show these people seated here that we can talk. Good morning, everybody. Tuko poa? Tuko salama? Tumekunywa chai? Msiseme Pwani Innovation ni kuwa mkunywe chai. Mmekunywa chai? Amjekunywa? Tunatengeneza. So I'll be very brief and I'll go straight to the point. Thank you very much, Maina, for the introduction. Mombasa Plastic Prize winner, Oceania Pacesetter. It's good. As an innovator, I'll say two words and two things. Youth, youth, youth. That's the first thing. And the second thing I'll say is youth, youth, youth. That is the future of Kenya, and that is the future of Mombasa. And that can be seen to whatever projects that are being brought forward to the youth. Innovation programs like Mombasa Plastic Prize is very targeted because it talks about plastic pollution in Mombasa. This is one of the biggest problems that we face across our oceans. And to see people coming up with a project to tackle such a problem is very huge, because we have 0.5 to 1.3 tons of plastic waste in our oceans. So how do we get this amount of plastic waste out of our oceans? It's basically simple. Youths, youths, youths. And how do youths do this? Youths come up with different types of innovations or ideas that can help us solve this menace. And it's a success because you see Mombasa Plastic Prize had 60 finalists. And all these 60 finalists came up with brilliant ideas that will get plastic waste out of our oceans and make Mombasa free from plastics. So what I can say is, let us empower this youth, let us encourage youth to come up with such innovations. And that's why it brings me to the only one word, only one phrase that is here and that makes us sit together and interact and talk about it. And that is Pwani Innovation Week. So Pwani Innovation Week has brought these youths that you're talking about with the stakeholders, with everybody that has a say in whatever environment we live in order for us to like dig in and get solutions for whatever we are facing, the problems that we have, all the challenges we have in the environment. Pwani Innovation Week is bringing us together to have a discussion. It's more of, I call Pwani Innovation Week more of a think tank, a space where we can interact with anybody so that we can get whatever you think, whatever you feel about the problems you face. And through this, I would love to say thank you, and I love to talk to my fellow youths that let us be encouraged. Let us be encouraged to always find solutions. And if we get solutions for the problems we have, we will be very valuable in the society. Right now, in the informal sectors in Mombasa, we have a huge problem of waste. Even the roads, we can't construct adequate roads or good roads because of the amount of waste that is around. And that's why I always appreciate associating with powerful people like Miss Bose, whose story really touched me when she talked about her almost getting into an accident on the road because there was a heap of waste in the road. So you see, waste is one of the biggest problems in Mombasa. And we as youths, when we come together in a program or an initiative like this, then we can discuss of the solutions and get waste out of Mombasa. So I'm not advocating, I'm not an advocate, I'm an innovator. And I would like to say, let us encourage innovations through discussions and through collaborations. Thank you very much.
Let's appreciate Tony one more time. He's such a practical man. And if you've been seeing him around, he's one of the great volunteers around Swahili Port. Asante sana, and congratulations as well. By the way, in the house, we have some of the champions and people who believe in waste being wealth. And I have seen them presented here. And of course, good to see you around. Mary, I can see you as well. Pac Pro in the house, which was former Petco represented in the house, and many others. We shall be calling them here to say something. Olivier is in the house as well, so I want to invite you, Olivier Vanden, who is the founder, I believe, Close the Gap. And I want you to come and say a few words as well. Karibu sana. Makofi tafadhali as he comes as well. Just under this particular theme of Coastal Economy's blue, green, orange economy. Karibu.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Very great to be here for the third day of Pwani Innovation Week in this beautiful venue of Swahili Pot. So my name is Olivier Vanden Eynde. Some of you are very familiar to me. Many of you are new to me as well. I'm very honored that I'm part of the program this morning. And as a good friend of Swahili Pot, with our hub, Close the Gap, it really means a lot to me to be here because being now a resident in Mombasa in Kenya for my 5th year onwards, I can really testify and witness from a personal experience that what Pwani Innovation Week and what Swahili Pot has been putting here on the map in Mombasa is really a life-changing new way of bringing Mombasa on the table when it's about innovation, when it's about technology, when it's about bringing technology to the world of solutions for livelihoods in the coastal area in particular, but in the country and even the region of East Africa at large. So I'm extremely of this, and I really want to compliment Swahili Pot and Mahmoud as mentor and as the spiritual father and leader of this momentum and this movement. I call it really a movement, because it is something which is in motion and which is too big to fail and which is unstoppable. And that's, I think, what I've witnessed in those last couple of years in this yearly recurrent Pwani Innovation Week. So from Close the Gap perspective, for those that might not know us, we are a tech innovation hub here in Mombasa, in Ratna Square, which actually has been slowly but steadily growing since 4 years now, and also where Mahmoud and Swahilipot have been from day one very closely linked, because as foreign direct investors coming to Kenya, obviously we wanted to team up with the existing ecosystem, not reinvent the wheel and the hot water here and there, but literally seeing where there are some complementary initiatives that can mutually reinforce each other. And so I kind of also feel that our hub is also an extension in a certain way of Swahilipot, and that we try to fill in the life cycle of some of the entrepreneurial ideas that have come across and have been innovated and from an idea generation originated often in this beautiful space, that we can also help to take them to the next level, bring seed capital to the table, and also bring this window to the world. So it was very nice to see my good friend Bitange and Demo, who is literally having this call. It felt a little bit odd to me because the Kenyan embassy is, and Mahmoud can witness that we've been together, is at less than 200 meters from my home house in Brussels. So it felt that I am in his home here in Kenya while he's addressing Kenya from my home. And I think the beautiful connections between our countries and our region as Europe, and Brussels being the capital of Europe, is really very inspiring. So what is Close the Gap doing now in Kenya and in Mombasa? We have actually 2 business units, if I can call them as such. One is based in the portal area in Jomvu, close to the port of Mombasa, where we operate a computer assembly from resource conservation of all those precious metals that all of you know are very precious and should be definitely taken into a circular mindset, that those devices can really get like a decent life cycle, so that all of the new users, and definitely those many people that are not able to access affordable technology devices, would also get a chance because of the more affordable and the larger volumes of this type of devices. So we operate in Jomvu. We have a team of 50 people, 50 people, all Kenyan people. We really try also to empower young women from the coast to give them a first experience through internships, and then later on full-time and paid jobs in our assembly factory, so that they can really also become digital champions and learn all the way through how a device is upcycled, repaired if needed, put right software on, and also proper maintenance at from Kenyan manufacturing and building background. So I would invite all of you, when you are around Jomvu, to give me a call and exchange numbers. It would be my pleasure to host you and to show you what we do there. So that's what we do in Jomvu, bringing those devices in large volumes available, so that the coastal, I would say, aspiring entrepreneurs, schools, but basically anyone who needs an access to a device to do something valuable with it can have access to it. Secondly, to the assembly, we also have a hub, as I mentioned, and that's here in Mombasa, close to Nyali Bridge in Ratna Square. And there we operate 1,400 square meters digital hub within the Ratna Square. We're the largest user of the of Ratna those days, where we have co-working spaces, private offices, training facilities, a cafe, a small gym, where basically we try to house under one roof everything that an aspiring entrepreneur needs to basically get from the idea to a business concept, a proof of concept, the necessary trainings he or she might need to make the business plan, let's say, alive and kicking, so that it's ready to go into business. And very important that there is also seed capital available. So we have a budget line where we give seed capital investments from, I would say, typically in the early stage companies between $5,000–7,000 up to $50,000. And we've now in 1.5 Mombasa-based, I would say, SMEs. Some of them, like Roca bags that we've seen here, but also Kuza Freezer, are very closely linked with Swahili Pot and with Close the Gap. And so we're very happy to be there. We do this really from a business, I would say, and energizing young businesses. We don't want to be there as an old school investor, kind of taking over companies from young aspiring entrepreneurs in their early days. On the contrary, we want to actually be there to make ourselves rather obsolete sooner than later, so that the young entrepreneurs can build their businesses, remain owner of their own business, make it grow, and make Kenya and Mombasa very proud, and actually share those businesses to an international and a regional level, so that they can grow and really flow and show actually the world what the impact is those companies can do. Over 200 SME IDs have been generated through ideation and hackathon sessions. And so, as I said, 15 have been considered investor ready and are now really working in 2 or 3 cohorts in what we call our Close the Gap Impact Accelerator. And I would really invite all of you to come and learn about it if you are in that space, and if you wanna have an environment that can help you to bring those ideas into real business concepts. And we're very much looking forward to engage with you. So with this, I would like to end. Once more, thank the organizing committee and all of you. And I hope to meet you in the next coming days here. But as I said, I am a proud Kenyan resident, and I will travel less in the coming months and be much more here in Mombasa. So for the youngsters here and the entrepreneurs, would really love to catch up with a coffee or a dawa anytime in the coming months. So asante sana, have a beautiful conference, and thank you for listening to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. One more round of applause, Asante Sana, for really your remarks. And I hope, young guys, you heard it. One of the key things that I heard is that they finance. It's important to get that. So if you have those ideas as well, get it in. Kevin, my co-moderator, is around. Kevin, where are you?
Right here?
Right there, yes. I don't know who are we calling next. Please, if you could kindly, from the corner you are in, let us know.
Next we shall be calling our first female speaker of the day.
Yes.
And that is none other than Miss Linda. Lisa Kimondo, my apologies. Miss Linda Kimondo from the Founders Factory. Makofi ya Miss Lisa tafadhali as she comes to the stage.
Karibu, karibu.
Oh, asante sana. Can I get, I'm like a teacher, I like to walk around. Can I get a... It's so great to see the hall this full and people excited about entrepreneurship. And I'd like to know, how many entrepreneurs do we have in the room? How many entrepreneurs do we have in the room? How many aspiring entrepreneurs? You're not yet there, but you're curious. You're like, what is this? So we have a number. How many innovators? Like you're building something new, you're exploring tech. The ambassador talked about AI, and you're looking into that and what you can do with it. So I'm excited to see that we have that number of people in the room. And one of the things that brings me excitement is knowing that this room is full of hope. For all of you who've explored entrepreneurship, know you need to have hope. To be an innovator, you need to be optimistic. And before I get into what Founders Factory does, I want to share with you a bit of my founder story. Just a short stint of my experience as an entrepreneur. And I'll share 2 key stories with you. So the first is my first attempt as an entrepreneur. We'll call this the donkey cart story. So I was in my 3rd, 4th year of university. I was studying engineering. I was ambitious. I met with a couple of friends, and we decided, you know what? We're going to redesign the donkey cart. For those of you, we all know a donkey cart. So we found a competition. It wanted us to do that. And so we engaged with it and said, you know what? Let's try and see. Let's try our hand at this. So we left all the way from Juja, for those who know JKUAT, Juja all the way to Kikuyu. So we took a mat, JKUAT, Juja, Nairobi, Kikuyu. And we are there, 4 girls talking to men who are running donkey carts. And we're asking them, what challenges do you have? How can we improve this donkey cart for you? So I want you to imagine that, like 4 ladies, we are young, we are very small, and we even have photos of stepping on the donkey cart, trying to test them. So we threw ourselves into the experience. We went back to JKUAT. We designed what we thought was a great innovation, and we went to present. So luckily when we present, we were the runners-up, and we got a whooping 3,000 Kenya shillings to divide amongst 4 people. So of course with that, what did we do? It was a Friday. So of course we bought lunch. For those who are in JKUAT, we went to Juja Pork, and we were like, we'll even treat our friends. We had enough money to treat our friends. So that was our first attempt at entrepreneurship. And it ended, if you think about it, it ended even long before it began. We did not get to do anything. But we didn't give up. Attempt 2. Attempt 2 is called the cartel story. So we had this journey, we had done the innovation. We're like, you know what, this time, let's do what we want to do. Let's figure something out, how we can explore entrepreneurship. And I'm sure some of you are on that journey right now. We're trying to figure out, what exactly can I do to become an entrepreneur? What exactly can I do to improve the ecosystem and to improve myself and to get my family and people out of poverty, or even just make money and change the world? So we were ambitious, we were hopeful. So we sat down, again, we are still in JKUAT, we're in Juja, and we realized there's so much dust between when you leave your house to when you get to the stage, especially if you're someone who's working and you're staying in JKUAT. So we thought, you know what, aha moment, we're going to start a shoe shining business. So that was idea number 2. So we go to the stage, we scout and find a nice space, we're like, this is how we're gonna do it. As being the technical people we are, we find welders, we find the chuma, we find all the metal we need to make this work. We find the person who will koroga the simiti. How do I put that in English? The person who will help us put this structure in place with cement, for those who might not understand Swahili. So we get all this in place. As we continue to survey the area, someone tells us who runs an M-Pesa shop, oh, you know, you need a permit. So we didn't even know that. So we went all the way to Thika County to get a permit. So we get our permit, we're excited, we are back, the structure is ready, but you know, of course, when you're dealing with fundis, there's always that, you need to add this, you need to add that. So of course, we encountered that. And maybe one thing I didn't highlight before, at that point, we each contributed 10,000 Kenya shillings, and we were students. So we had 40,000 Kenya shillings to make this happen. So we were excited. We knew we were going to revolutionize the shoe shining business in Kenya. That was our dream. We thought it was possible. And so we get to the point where we have the permit, we have everything we need, and we put it in place. We are excited, we take photos, we know this is, can you imagine being a student and starting to put up posters of employers wanted, employees wanted? We had started getting calls of, yes, I want this, I want to be part of this, etc. We even printed t-shirts. I will not share the name of the business. Maybe you can find me on the side, I might be in a position to share the name of the business. So we get there, we put everything in place, we go to sleep, we come back the next day. It was vandalized. So we had put so much hope, we had so much excitement, and we come back, it's vandalized. So we're asking around what happened, no one wants to share much. Then eventually someone told us, hey, there's a cartel here, and you need to pay money to do business here. Being the young and naive people we were, we thought, you know what, we have a permit, we can do what we want. The government has said we can set up a business. So we brought the person again, koroga isimiti, rudisha hii stand up. So that's what we did. We were excited, we even, thought about, can we hire a security guard to protect this stand of ours? Because we had seen how we are going to be, those ninis in the magazine where you're standing like the next innovators of Kenya, the 4 ladies who revolutionized the shoe shining business. That's what we thought we were going to be. But again, same thing, it was vandalized. With time, we had to give up on our dream, give up on our business. And eventually, every time we'd go to the stage, we'd find matatu operators enjoying our stand. I mean, at least someone benefited from it. It might not have been us, but there was someone enjoying it. So you might be asking yourself, why am I sharing these stories with you? So there are 4 key points that I want to share with you at this point. So the first thing is, entrepreneurship is a journey. Entrepreneurship is a journey. It's all about time. How many have already failed their first business here? How many have tried their hand at business and failed? How many have tried their 3rd business? How many are currently on their 3rd business? Exactly. Entrepreneurship is a journey. That's the first thing. You might have we are seeing a lot of these things on social media where you have your 21-year-old billionaire and you're like, I want to be that person. But you need to remember there are people like the founder of KFC who started at the age of 60. So entrepreneurship is a journey. Secondly, entrepreneurship is not a one-size-fits-all. You have your NGO founder, you have your social entrepreneur, you have your startup founder who's building like the Little Cabs and other amazing startups we have in Kenya. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. The third thing is entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. And I began by saying hope. You need to be optimistic. You need to be hopeful. At our company, we say you need to be a little bit crazy to go into entrepreneurship. Why would you leave something secure, someone who's fending for you, a paycheck, to go and be the one to fend for people? Why would you do that? You need to be a little bit crazy. And lastly, entrepreneurship is a journey better taken with friends. As I mentioned, we were a team of 4. If we were all doing it individually, we would not have gotten that far. And you might not have a friend, but you might need a support system. You might need friends who you can talk to. You might need an ecosystem like we're all here today. And I'm sure for all the stakeholders who are here, that's why we're here today, to support the entrepreneurs and the innovators that are in this space, that are currently in the Pwani ecosystem. And so now that I've shared my brief stint at entrepreneurship, I also just want to say that for me, this is coming full circle. This story is coming full circle for me. Because eventually, after our failed businesses, we ended up founding an NGO that ended up getting a grant and building out 2 community centers. I then ended up actually getting an Innovators Award from KeNIA, and I'm glad to see we have Dr. Tony here with us from Kenya National Innovation Agency. And so for me, coming from the point of attempting entrepreneurship, not knowing where to start, to the point where I'm currently running a program that empowers entrepreneurs and young people and innovators, courtesy of Founders Factory Africa. So for some of you might be wondering, okay, what does FFA do, or Founders Factory? We call it FFA. So if you're a friend of FFA, feel free to say FFA. But I'll just say Founders Factory Africa, so the name also sticks with you. So for FFA, what do? We do a number of things. But in summary, we're an early stage investor that invests in early stage entrepreneurs, basically. And how do we do that? We provide you financial support. Of course, there is a ticket size, and we can have that whole communication and conversation later. But we also provide with hands-on support. So we have an internal expert team. If you're looking to, if the challenges you have in your business are product-oriented, growth-oriented, tech-oriented, we have a team of experts internally who can support you. So as Founders Factory Africa, I like to divide our programs into 2. We have our advanced offerings that are mainly targeted to startups, tech-enabled startups. And I mentioned, think of your Jumia, think of your Little Cab, think of your Uber. Before anyone knew of them, they were early-stage investors. And that's what we do across Africa. So that's the first part. And the second part is the reason we are here today. So I know there's been conversations, I think, on Tuesday about how to also make Mombasa a hub. It's not only we're only focusing on Nairobi and that's where it's at. How can we decentralize resources across Kenya? Where we're in Nairobi, we're in Kisumu, we're in Mombasa, we're in different cities across Kenya and across Africa. So one of the things that we will be doing to actually signify our commitment to the Mombasa ecosystem is we will be awarding grants of $5,000 to some of the businesses that pitch today in the Deals Den. I think there's some people who didn't hear. We'll be awarding grants worth $5,000 to some of the businesses that will pitch today. Thank you, DJ. That was good. Thank you. So that for us is just our first step getting into the Mombasa ecosystem. And we're excited to engage with partners like Swahili Port Hub and other ecosystem players who are here. If you've not engaged, please let's engage. If you'd love to know more about what we do, my team is also here and you can reach out to them. I'm tempted to do the pastor thing where you say, that's my wife. Let her stand up and say hi. So to my teammates, please just do a wave so that they see where you are. Yes, so if you have any questions about Founders Factory Africa, please feel free to reach out to myself or anyone here. But we're excited to be here. We're excited to hear the pitches later in the afternoon and to see where the Pwani Innovation ecosystem will go. Thank you so much.
A round of applause, tafadhali. Yes, now next we'll be inviting Mr. Faiz Fankupi. Mr. Faiz Fankupi is the County Executive Committee member in charge of fisheries, blue economy, livestock and cooperative development. Okay, my apologies for that. I believe he is running a little bit late. So next we shall move on to Dr. Frederick Mandhi from the National Museums of Kenya. Makofi ya daktari tafadhali as he comes over to take the stage.
Okay, good morning. We are here to share a few ideas about our heritage. How many of you here have a museum or a site near your home area? Can I see by a show of hands? Is a museum or a monument from where you come? Can I see? I see my brother there. There's no museum near your home area or a monument or a site. I thought there are sites all over the country. I thought there are monuments all over the country. There are museums all over the country. Anyway, thank you for that. I'm here to share with you some wonderful ideas on how we can all work together as youth. Allow me to put myself in the bracket of our youth today, although I doubt whether I am. Indeed, there's a museum near your home area. There's a monument near your home area. There's a site near your home area. We have, in every single of the 47 counties, there's a museum, there's a site, there's a monument. So have you ever asked yourself, how can we utilize those different spaces as youth to create jobs for ourselves? We need to begin to ask ourselves that, because world over, sites, museums, and monuments are key areas and are key spaces that are being utilized by different people, especially youth, to come up with job ideas, to really create jobs for themselves, but also for other people. So we need all of us as Kenyans, as Eastern Africans, to really ask ourselves, how can we use the different spaces, spaces within our different spheres to really create jobs for ourselves. I'm sure you've read about, or you've seen about the wonderful features that are done by National Geographic Society. They have different movies and documentaries that speak to the different usages of monuments, of sites across the world to come up with jobs for people, for different parts of our society. Some key examples are the Stone Age in the UK, where it's only one little site, but through that particular space, so many jobs have been created. So we need to ask ourselves, how can we utilize our museums? How can we utilize the Gede ruins? How can we utilize the Mtwapa ruins? How can we utilize Mombasa Old Town? How can we utilize Fort Jesus to create jobs for our own? And there are many ways we can do this. You can come up with some virtual tours into some of our spaces. And through that, you should be able to create some jobs for ourselves. In every single museum, of every single site, we receive tourists from all over the world. How can we also use that to create jobs for ourselves? We know we need to, those tourists, when they come to our museums across the country, they buy artifacts, they buy souvenirs, they do all kinds of things. So I think I would like to encourage all of us this morning, all the youth here, in the space that you find yourself in, every single space you find yourself in, ask yourself, how can we utilize the Fort Jesus, for example, to create jobs for ourselves? You can even come up with ideas of some safaris that will target specifically tourists who are interested in heritage matters. That's a wonderful package that I think we need to really think about. And I know the government is pushing really for the utilization of our heritage to market Kenya as a key tourist destination. For a long time, we've talked about beach tourism. We've talked about wildlife tourism, but rarely do we talk about heritage tourism, whereby we are able to use Chege to market Kenya as a tourist destination. Right now, and you've all heard the president is very, very keen and is aggressively been pushing for this narrative, Kenya being the cradle of humankind. In fact, he is pushing for Kenya to allow visitors into a country without any visas, because what he's saying is that we are all coming back home. So as Kenyans, we need to really, really grow our heritage in that particular sphere and really utilize our different spaces to market this country as a tourist nation. And again, also ask ourselves, how can we create jobs? If you go to Chege National Monument, if you go to Fort Jesus, how can we use those different spaces for us to really create jobs for ourselves? So Kenyans and colleagues, the young people here, let's really think about how we can utilize our heritage to come up with jobs for ourselves, but also for our brothers and sisters who may not have jobs out there. There are many ways we can do that. And countries like the US have done so well. South Africa has done so well. The UK has done so well. And I believe as Kenyans, we also need to really, because we are very innovative people, we need to be more innovative and really utilize our different heritage sites and different spaces to market Kenya, but also to create jobs for ourselves and also for our brothers and sisters across the country. So mine is just to encourage all of us here to utilize our spaces, but also to ensure that we also conserve those sites for posterity. As Kenyans, we have a role to ensure that we can protect those sites for posterity. We can also protect those sites because they are key sites that as Kenyans we should be very proud of. And so it's really our responsibility as Kenyans and even our partners to work together to ensure that all our different spaces are taken care of. And that's why the government of Kenya gave the National Museum of Kenya funds for us to be able to secure this particular fort. And we were able to recreate the sea park, the sea wall, which is just down here, so that we can protect Fort Jesus. And we are doing a lot of other things to ensure that we are able to protect our different aspects and our different forms of heritage across the country. So let's all work together, Kenyans. We need to really work together. The youth, you have a big role to play. You have a big role to play in ensuring that we conserve and protect our heritage for posterity. You have a big role to play in really becoming influencers, key influencers. You guys have a lot of power. You have really the power of the social media. You have the power, the WhatsApp, and all other different fora through which we can really encourage one another to ensure that we protect our heritage for posterity, but again also utilize the same heritage to create jobs for ourselves and for the rest of the country. So mine is to kind of really passionately urge you, let's work together, support the National Museums of Kenya in coming up with ways of protecting our heritage, but again also coming up with ways of creating jobs for our own people. Thank you, colleagues, and I'll be happy to engage with you going forward. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for Dr. Tafadhali. I think he's been able to emphasize quite well that we as a youth must also learn to appreciate heritage. As much as we are the future, we perfect the future much more better by learning from what is there in the past and equally being the change that we would love to see. Now on to our next speaker. I shall be inviting Mr. Tonny Omwansa to kindly come forward as well and give us his remarks in line with our 4th edition of the Pwani Innovation Week. I'd like to remind you once again that our hashtags are PIW 2023 and hashtag Pwani Innovation Week. PIW and Pwani Innovation Week. Karibu sa. Round of applause for him, tafadhali. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, PS. Great to really see you. We've been hanging out here for the last 3 days, enjoying the the warmth of the coast. And thanks very much for joining us today. I've also seen colleagues from the ministry, like this CEO for the Youth Council. So I think we're very well placed to be here today. I will make a few observations probably in the context of the National Innovation Agency and the contribution we are making towards strengthening the national innovation agenda, and more so for the youth. This year, this new government, the Kenya National Innovation Agency was placed under the State Department of Youth Affairs. Originally, it was established under the Ministry of Education. And there was wisdom behind that, because the bulk majority of Kenyans are youth. And the more we can think about them in terms of policy, in terms of funding, in terms of skills, in terms of their ability to commercialize their ideas and innovations, the better for our society, because then they can create more jobs for themselves and for others. And they can build enterprises that then create wealth. So that forms the basis for the Innovation Agency existence. In as much as we have worked with a lot of universities over time, now we're going direct more into natural ecosystems like this one. And that's why something like Pwani Innovation Week is absolutely necessary for the Kenya National Innovation Agency to be available and support. And of this year, we've been in the regional innovation hubs and trying to encourage and give as much pronouncements as we can as we crown towards the Kenya Innovation Week at the end of this year. So the Innovation Agency is really trying to strengthen the mechanism we use as a country for scouting, identifying and scouting ideas, and then trying to nurture and develop those ideas, and then push them to market in terms of how they scale. So our interest is in the entire value chain. So whatever mechanisms we can use to scout, and this in itself is a platform for scouting. So if we see more Coastarian youth participating, to us then that is a measure of success. And as more ideas are supported, then the better for the country at large. Later this year we have the Kenya Innovation Week, which comes between the 27th of November and the 1st of December. And the government has been very committed to support this initiative. And this is opening a possibility for all of us to interact. It turns out that we will be running a Commonwealth edition, which means other countries within the Commonwealth are invited. The head of state will be officially opening on the 27th. And there are several other heads of states who've been invited, as well as ministers dealing with science, technology, and innovation in their countries. And for that reason, there is an opportunity to participate in one way or another. Of course, not all of us can find their way into Nairobi, but this is a build-up towards the Innovation Week. I also want to mention about the Presidential Innovation Challenge and Awards, and now that my PS is here as well. So the President guided last year that he would like to get some of the most promising innovations from the youth across the country. That means all counties need to participate. So we've structured it. The call is running, and we had closed at the end of last month, but with the guidance of the PS, we extended by 2 more weeks. So by mid of October, we'll close the call. And the goal is we want to find the most promising innovations from every county that are youth-led. Okay? And analysis of that data will start from around the 16th of this month and go all the way to the end of the month before we are able to identify the most promising innovations that are youth-led from all counties. And the goal is, let's get all these innovations to Nairobi, because we are attracting angel investors and partners like yourself, whom we plug private sector to support, so you're able to find some of the promising, potentially commercializable solutions from the youth. And we have several categories in there: healthcare, agri-tech, creatives, and so on and so forth. And if we get all these most promising into Nairobi, then they will have opportunities to pitch, so we see an audience like this as well. And the goal is we'll find the most promising out of those that come from the counties, but then we'll be receiving presidential recognition. For the ones that are participating at county level, they will all receive some form of recognition from a funding standpoint. And then during Jamhuri, the head of state will be pronouncing the top 3 at a national level. So it's my hope that somehow we'll have the top from Pwani as a result of these interactions that we have. Now, I also want to observe something interesting. For the last 3 days, I have been challenged why the Kenya Innovation Week gets held in Nairobi. And P.S., this is a big deal. I was put to who said Kenya is Nairobi and Nairobi is Kenya. So why is it that you want to do the Kenya Innovation Week in Nairobi? Then why don't you just call it Nairobi Innovation Week? And I said, well, that's a hard one. I need to go and talk to my board. They said, no, you are old enough. You should be able to make a pronouncement. And so I ended up making an implied pronouncement, seeking your approval, that we should open it up for all counties to express interest, to participate, and host the Kenya Innovation Week. It doesn't have to be automatic that we will host this in Nairobi. So I have a prayer. I made it as a prayer 2 days ago here, that Pwani to host the next Kenya Innovation Week later next year. You know, the good thing now, I am with the PS. So when I get back to Nairobi, he's my board member at the same time. So he will defend me when I'm making this case to the board, and we will approach the head of state over this matter, and that will make it very easy to execute. And so let's hope that we'll succeed in that journey. I'm completely persuaded, and I am completely sold. So from my end, I will do what I have to do to make that happen. Now that we have the CEO of the National Youth Council, there's one issue that also emerged 2 days ago after some discussions, and I thought it's good to bring it back to the audience here. One person asked me, okay, so if we are in the Ministry of Youth that deal with the youth affairs, why is the National Innovation Forum looking more of adults and grown-ups and so forth, if the majority again were the youth? And so they said, who is giving the keynote speech? Then I said, the DG of WIPO. Is he a youth? Then I said, no. I said, now you are missing the whole point. And slowly I started getting persuaded that we need to build a youth-led innovation forum. And I will tell you why this is so crucial for me. Some of the questions that I was asked on Tuesday, for example, they would say, we don't know where KIPI is so that we can protect our intellectual resources. And we don't have the resources to get there. We don't know where Kenya Copyright Board. You're telling me to go here and here and here and here. You know, if I want to talk to you, now I have to go to the Youth Council. If I have to find my way to the Youth Fund, and the Youth Fund was here as well, then I don't have capacity to do that. So why don't we team up, and now that our PSC is here, to design a youth innovation forum at national level. And in that forum, we've got to have all these youth-focused agencies, like a one-stop shop. Somebody asked me, okay, there is Huduma, where I can go and get all my needs. So where is the Huduma Center for the Youth Innovation Agenda and Enterprise? So you and I can rally as many of these government agencies that are supporting, so we create more of a one-stop shop, and that will strengthen the National Innovation Forum. So this is a commitment on behalf of the CEO and myself in the presence of our peers, and I've had conversations with a few of the private sector people that we're going to reflect and design a youth innovation forum that also kind of stands out on its own, and we celebrate our national innovation from the youth. And finally, I also did observe in our first day about how youth are accessing opportunities in government. The assurance is that government has created the laws and opportunities for youth to access procurement opportunities in government. Sometimes is we fail to tap either because we didn't know. And a forum like this is very good to pass that message, that just go and study Agpo and find your way, because 40% of the opportunities in government are actually reserved for the youth, women, and people with disabilities. Finally, I do think that we also have an opportunity to design an innovation fund to support innovations that heavily come from the youth. I'm saying this because I had opportunity to discuss with Communication Authority, and they've got some funding that they think they can actually put towards youth innovations. I spoke to the Sports Fund as well. They said we can actually put funds towards youth innovation, because the Sports Fund is actually within the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, and they are meant to support this conversation within the ministry. I spoke to the Youth Fund as well. He said, yes, I'll be happy to contribute towards a kitty that supports specifically the youth innovation. So I'm making a commitment that we will start exploring practical ways of designing a youth-focused innovation efforts. We don't have to have an innovation fund specifically. If we can, that's okay. But more importantly is that we can actually get pockets of funding from different institutions that then we can use to channel towards early stage ideas, seed level, and so on and so forth from the youth. With that, thank you very much.
Round of applause for him, tafadhali. Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful presentation. Next, I shall briefly be putting a break on the keynote addresses and just give us a small commercial break as I invite Mr. Biashara to come and give us a very small presentation in line with our theme for the day. Kwa hivyo karibu sana.
Yes, mko poa. Yes, naona mko poa. Yes, ni BS hapo hivi na nimekuja na spoken word nyingine hapo hivi.
I'm so confused. Nikirealize society kijua niko na talent. We are so dramatic. Tradition na culture zitanipatia talent. Nikijulikana mimi msanii ninaitwa muuni. Lifestyle yangu na bebwa kaka tuni. But najua last judgment itafanyika mbinguni. Ukiwa na network connection, dream your art ina come true. Slavery mind wanaogeukia sanani ya vichaa. Lack of support do inapelekea pressure. Deep in mind nauliza niko na life yangu na niko na maisha mengine ya usanii. So nashindwa which is which. Cause imekretwa kwa kio cha jamii. Ukiwa msanii maskini umepotea njia. Imani zetu potofu ndo zinachangia kwa sanaa kudidimia. Sio Kenya bali ulimwengu mzima wa Afrika. Technology come up na platforms za kutupea motivation. So tusilose focus na tusilale. Tunavuka daraja zisizovukika na uhakika wawache kututisha. Sanaa inalipa. Sanaa inavisha. Sanaa inaweza kukubadilisha. Stop thinking, act. Generation yangu naurumia. Maana wengi wetu tunaumia. Hatuja sign in kwa MCSK ya Kenya. Kichwa changu ni kidogo bali ubongo ni mrefu zaidi angamia. Mama nalia naangalia. Vipaji vinaangamia na maramia. Boro shikilie nia. Uache kubania. Wakati ni sasa. Punda amechoka kubeba mzigo. Walio juu basi mjua walio chini tumechoka. Mumeshinda mkichochocha ati tutomoka. Itabidi tumeshikilia shoka ndo tuue nyoka. Kwa binadamu ni nyumbani sio jalalani. So kolela kipindupindu kikikuja kitatukumba sote. So ni wajibu kwangu na mimi na wewe tupiganie sote. We must change mazingira yetu. Ni lazima tujifunze venye tutajifunza ili tufunzwe. Tukiendelea kuangalia mazingira na masanaa. So wakati ndo sasa ni punda amechoka kubeba mzigo. Narudia tena walio juu basi mjua walio chini tumechoka. Mumeshinda mkichochocha ati tutomoka. Itabidi tumeshikilia shoka ndo tuue nyoka. Asanteni, that was briefly.
Coffee yake tafadhali. Inviting back Mr. Maina Chege to kindly bring forth our next speaker. And as he comes, I'd like to report some of you that you have really been asking me a question about Maina. This is the second day he's wearing a kitenge, and the people are interested to know, is there another piece that has remained in Nairobi, or are things okay?
Sasa, they can see me behind the tent. I think that's a good answer, right? Asanteni san. Let's appreciate my co-moderator as well for this. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I can see, wow, the house is almost full. Kepsa in the house. Everybody else, thank you so much for coming. I have seen the faces around here. Now, because of time, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite our first PS in the house coming in. And that is none other than Mr. Mohammed Dagal, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Transport. A round of applause to him as he comes to say a few words. Asante sana. Karibu.
Asante sana. Is it still morning? Good morning, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Kwa wale ndugu zetu wa dhati wa Kikristo, Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Kiwa wima. Mimi mutanikubalia, where's Olivier? You know here I'm in my natural element. So kwa ruhusa yenu ningeomba kuchanganya lugha. Ama Maina si sawa? It is really an honor to be invited here, Madam Chair and Chief Mentor 001 to come and connect with this particular team of innovation. It's also really great for me to be back home. I was born there, that hospital. I live, I think, 200-300 meters down the road. So niko mtaa for all of you. Kwa hiyo karibuni sana, na nimesema leo nizungumze mwanzo kabla sijakaribisha boss ya hii mkutano ambao ni ndugu yangu wa dhati Ismail Maalim, that we happen to be even age mates. Na tuliongea jana, tumeongea leo asubuhi kama kolegi wangu. Kwa hiyo karibu sana bwana Ismail. Mimi mwanzo ni kutoa shukrani za dhati kwa kila mtu aliyekuwa kwa hapa. Kwanza kabisa ni kumshukuru Chief Mentor 001. Zamani kwa tuwaita mentor. Mahmud Nur, ambao ni rafiki yangu wa miaka zaidi ya 15 sasa. I have never come across a more selfless, tribeless individual like Mahmud Nur. I'm going to spend time in this. And it is important because I have a right to speak. Isn't it? Say, mimi ni rafiki yako. We before all this, hata hii haijafanywa, we were here. I remember, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago. And Mahmud was still battling, you know, to eat a Swahili pot, Swahili hub, Swahili box, nikambete Swahili kapu. So we had so many adjectives. I'm happy you finally made your mind, but not so, because bado naona kuna Swahili pot hub umzeka zote Mahmud, which is a good thing. If you go to, kuna watu walikuwa ni hapa, watu wa kutoka Timbwani. Wewe mjui Mahmud wewe? You know him. Ukienda pale Chaani ama Wayani, wale wanaojua Mombasa vizuri, Changamwe. Ukishuka pale chini Alidina Jomvu. Ukienda Mwakirunge, the only place where you find mountains in Mombasa. Ukienda Kisumu Ndogo, Nyali. Mahmud, what I'm trying to say is to appreciate you, that you have done such a great service to this community, the coastal community. And the reason I'm doing so is that unto itself is innovation. You are such a central figure to this society. That is something to be appraised of. La pili ni kumshukuru mwenye mji, His Excellency the Governor of this county, Abdul Samad Sharif Nasir, who I'm told has been interacting and is also a co-host to this particular. Sio kwa sababu yeye alikuwa ni mbunge wa Mvita, but amekuwa katika harakati za kuleta youth pamoja kuanzia hajakuwa mbunge, isn't it? Akisaidia katika harakati za kuhakikisha kama youth wote wa Mombasa wanaungana pamoja, and we can see the efforts that he is still putting forward to ensure that youth. I was talking to the CC. Where is she? Yes, huyu pia ni youth. Amepanga watu vizuri, na najua katika, apart from development, one of his key agendas in this county is issues of involvement of youth in development related projects. Kwa hiyo nashukuru sana Mheshimiwa His Excellency the Governor of this place. Mimi really ni kuzungumzia mambo mawili. Hapa nimeona youth ambao mchanganyiko. Naona kina Stephanie's, she's over there. Stephanie, hiyo kala yako ya nywele ni hiyo najua. It's a trademark. Martha Jerenga is here. And many other new faces that I can recognize. This shows that there is so much oomph in youth stretching all the way, from Lamu, all the way coming down to the hometown of Vanga, representing basically Pwani. And innovation, for some reasons, most of the things inaanza huku Pwani katika nchi. Huwezi andika tarehe ama historia ya Kenya bila kuweka Mombasa ndani yake. That is true. Hata mimi kama katibu mkuu wa uchukuzi, kweli unaweza kuzungumzia transport bila kuanza hapa? Huu si ndio mlango wa Kenya? Isn't it? Ukiangalia bandari ziko hapa. Tuna bandari Shimoni. Tunataka kuweka bandari zingine za small ports, around 9 of them in this, establish them further in Kilifi, in Vanga, in tuko na bandari kubwa Lamu ambayo iko na berth 3. Tunataka kuweka zingine 20. Tuko na bandari yetu ya Kilindini, which is over 100 years old. Na hapa kona tu there is a small port. Ukija mambo ya reli, chuma cha kwanza cha reli kilianzishwa hapa. And we are doing an uplift of the station that is there, what we call the Mombasa Central Station. I think wale ambao mmepita mmeona kuna kazi inaendelea hapo. Tunataka kurudisha station ilivyo, na tutaweka stations zingine 4 all the way, what we call the MGR line. Utapandia hapa usha mambo mawili. One is innovation and the second one is youth. Government unto itself, I think mumeona from last year mpaka sasa, if there is something that this administration is extraordinarily keen about, is bringing innovation in how it works. Governments by nature around the world ought or are supposed to be bureaucratic. That's a fact. Ukiangalia serikali ya Marekani, ukiangalia serikali ya Ugiriki, serikali zetu hapa za Kiafrika, they're supposed, and that's how it's supposed to be. But this administration is very keen in easing bureaucracy. And this starts from the top. We have been tasked by His Excellency the President to ensure that we connect with Kenyans by easing our services to Kenyans and making it very easy. And, of importance here, innovation is not always linked to technology. Innovation is larger than technology. Innovation is to ensure that, we have a blend of government. I, as a principal secretary, have gone through the file. Ismail here will tell you, iko file ya serikali. Ile ukichukua ofisi unapitia pale Transcom House. Utaangalia pale zamani permanent secretary walivyokuwa wakiitwa, walikuwa wanafanya kazi vipi. Alafu unaangalia sasa ubunifu ulioletwa na principal secretaries ambao ilianza kuanzia 2013. And you see a lot of innovation and connection that has been put in place to ensure that happens, including myself. Zamani kupata permanent secretary age kama yangu na kuongea kama hivi, I think ilikuwa ni ngumu. But our forefathers have done what they have done. And they have left this country to move forward. When you scan here, labda mtu wetu kanga hapa wa citizen, lakini watu wingi hapa ni vijana tu kama sisi. Nobody will invite you to the table. You have invited yourself. You are now in the table. Ukiangalia viongozi wetu hapa wa zamani, marehemu Sharif Nasir, Mheshimiwa Khalif Mwavumo, kina Kajembe, hawa wote wametangulia mbele ya haki. Na zamani zaidi kuanzia Mheshimiwa Pandya, wale ambao wanajua historia ya Pwani, wote wametangulia. Wale ambao wako wazee ndio wanaenda handover. So these are the youth that are left to serve the country in different facets. Wale ambao wataserve in administration kama sisi wataserve in administration. Wale ambao watahakikisha wako katika advocacy, which is a very important aspect in our society, continue to do so. So that blend and that takeover is a very important element in, innovation. Sahi sisi kama serikali na kuzungumzia wizara yetu ya barabara na uchukuzi, tunaangalia beyond bringing innovation into how we conduct the government agenda. This administration and this country is trying to leverage on the private sector by exploring ways that we can enhance some of the projects that we have. We are trying to explore public-private partnership initiatives in doing development agendas in many aspects, in the ports, in the airports, and many other. And that is part of the innovation that this government has brought in place. Secondly, na nikumalizia kidogo, acha nizungumzie youth, sababu mimi pia ni bamdogo, tunaita jamaa bamdogo. Innovation comes with no manual. Just like the way youth come with no manual. There is no youth here who has a manual. Manuals come with ages that are above youth and below youth. You can contest that as you want, but that is my position. Unajua ukiwa mzee unaambiwa sasa mzee taratibu. Twende hivi. Isn't it? But this is, it's called what? Free souls, born free or something like that. This is a gap that has no manual. Innovation has no manual. You are supposed to do what you want to do for the betterment of our country. Kwa hiyo mimi ni kusisitiza sana, sisi kama youth, we seize the opportunity that is there. We continue defining the history of the country. We carry over where our leaders have left and continue to move that forward. But that calls for a lot of flexibility. Wanasema wera ni wera, kazi ni kazi. Hata jana kuna colleagues wenzangu walipelekwa kwingine nini, bado ni kazi. We are serving the same government and it is a pleasure for all of us. Wale ambao wanataka kufanya kazi huku watafanya, wale ambao wanajua bado wanatafuta bandari watafanya. Mimi hapa najua nikija ambao pote vipi kazi. We cannot hire everybody in one place. This is the spaces that are needed to explore and bring in the innovations that are needed. Mimi sitaki kusema mingi sana. Wacha nikaribishe, if you'll allow me Maina, wacha nikaribishe my colleague ambao najua yeye ndio mtu wa youth sana. Nimeiba tu nafasi kidogo, but kama colleague wangu wacha nimkaribishe Mombasa, Bwana Ismail Maalim Madey ambao ni captain wa jeshi. Karibu sana.
My colleague and brother, PS Mohamed Agar, PS State Department for Transport. Our CEO, Kenya National Innovation Agency, Dr. Tonny Omwansa. Our CEO, National Youth Council, Madam Margaret Kiogora. Swahili Port Hub Board Chair, Dr. Lul. Management of Swahili Port Hub, led by my brother Mahmoud. The County Executive Committee members present, officers from the national and county government, development partners, innovators, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Mujambo. Kwa majina, mimi naitwa Ismail Maalim Madey. Mimi ndiye Principal Secretary State Department for Youth Affairs. Hata mimi mkiniona hata kama nimevuka kidogo boda, si bado niko youthful. Si mnaona niko youthful bado? So ndugu yangu alisema tuko age mate. Lakini nafikiri unajua alisema alizaliwa hapa iko hospitali nyingine. So anajua exactly when he was born. Hii yangu ni ya ukarabati tu, so inaweza kuwa kidogo niko juu. I'm most honored to join you here today in this beautiful city of Mombasa to be part of the Pwani Innovation Week. This gathering and this Innovation Week present a pivotal moment in our collective pursuit of progress in exploring the vibrant potential of a sector teeming with creative and youthful minds, and a sector brimming with unlimited possibilities. We are here to explore the potential that exists in a wide variety of fields, from music, film, fashions, design, architecture, and digital media to all artistic expressions that transcend cultural and territorial boundaries. Ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about the orange economy, what we commonly call the creative economy, a sector that encompasses both the creative and cultural industries, and a sector that's a treasure trove of untapped opportunities and talent. Allow me to delve a little deeper into the essence of this potential and highlight of how it can be harnessed to foster innovation, sustainability, and inclusivity. Innovation, which is the ability to conceive, develop, deliver, and scale new products, services, processes, and business model, is the heart of orange economy, and we all must take advantage of this. It is about daring to think differently, dream bigger, and to push the boundaries of what is possible. It's about creating art, technology, experiences that captivate and inspire. On this day, I challenge each and every one of us to think boldly, to challenge the status quo, and to bring forth innovation that will not only stimulate our economy, but also shape our world. While innovation is important, alone it's not enough. Sustainability is the key to ensuring that orange economy continues to flourish for generations to come. As we innovate, we must remain mindful of the environmental and social impact of our creative endeavors so that we protect our planet as we empower our communities. It thus behoves us to embrace sustainable practices, from eco-friendly production processes to fair compensation of artists and creators. Inclusivity, which is about ensuring that everyone, regardless of their background, has a seat at the table, is another cornerstone of orange economy. We emphasize on inclusivity because we regard our diversity as a strength. And by fostering inclusivity, we unlock the full potential of our creative industry. Inclusivity means supporting and celebrating every talent from every corner of our nation, recognizing that our differences are what make us unique and powerful. Already, the government has standardized the compensation for artists, and I'm happy to report to you that artists performing in various state events are now paid using rates approved by Salary and Remuneration Commission, SRC. I call all the artists to unite and join association, where you will agree with me, this sector is a little bit disorganized. I can't say it's in a mess, but the general creative economy or industry is a little bit disorganized. And for us to organize and put it together, then there is a need for you to come together and join an association where you can voice as one on crucial matters of compensation. I also dare you not to accept anything less than what has been approved by Salaries and Remuneration Commission. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency the President, the Honorable William Samoei Ruto, has dedicated this year's Jamhuri celebrations to exploring opportunities in creative industry for our youth. We have also lined up the African Youth Connect Summit 2023 to address continental youth opportunities at a summit expected to be graced by 20,000 youth across Africa and beyond, and several local and international leaders. This we are organizing through National Youth Council, and the CEO is here. So make sure when that time comes, this is in December, between 8th and the 12th, the Pwani youth, make sure you also note and take advantage of this great summit that is coming to you. This is one of the better ways or the best way to celebrate the 60 years of age of our nation. As a ministry, we also have a flagship program that we call Talanta Hela. I'm sure it's now, you are all aware of its existence. This initiative's mission is to empower creative artists to monetize their talent. For those of you seeking opportunities in creative industry, I encourage you to explore this initiative. And in our ministry, we say, with Talanta Hela, mambo ni matatu. Identification of talent, nurturing of those talents, and monetizing them. So make sure you also note this initiative. In the spirit of fostering these ideals, I encourage you to apply for the Presidential Innovation Award and Challenge, which Dr. Tony, the CEO of Kenya National Innovation Agency, has just announced here. Dr. Tony, for the interest of this young one, we can panel beat it and craft it. It's youth edition, so it's for you. The application is open, and Dr. Tony, if I'm right, is open until the 15th of October. So please make sure you note and take advantage of it also. This prestigious recognition is a call for action for our talented youth to showcase their groundbreaking innovations. And I promise you, Dr. Tony might not have said, the reward involved is huge. And it should be a motivation for you to seriously think about it and actively participate. So on the challenge, you can find more details on the Kenya National Innovation Agency's website. Along with it, there is gaming and entertainment category under this innovation award, and the creatives in this region, take that opportunity to revolutionize entertainment industry around you. I urge all creatives here to participate and make your mark. Ladies and gentlemen, in furtherance of our commitment to innovation and entrepreneurship, Dr. Tony again, through the Kenya National Innovation Agency, has organized Commercialization and Entrepreneurial Institutional Leadership Summit. It is scheduled to take place right here in Mombasa from 18th to 19th of October 2023. This will also give Dr. Tony some breathing space, even if you have decided to host the Innovation Week in Nairobi, you have brought the SEAL Summit to Mombasa. So the people of Mombasa and Coast, it is here with you. I extend again a warm invitation to institutional leaders to participate actively in this summit. It's a golden opportunity to exchange ideas and strategies for economic growth. I also urge artists in this house to take up entertainment opportunities for this summit as well. But that's not all. I urge you again to mark your calendars for the Kenya Innovation Week 2023 Commonwealth Edition, also announced here by Dr. Tony, from 27th to the 1st of December, which promises to be an extraordinary event. It is extraordinary because it involves the entire Commonwealth nations. 56 Commonwealth member countries will be participating and showcasing the innovation ideas. And my challenge to you is take your time and make sure you also showcase yours to the rest of Kenyans and to the world. It is therefore an ideal platform to network, learn, and grow as innovators. Let us come together to create an ecosystem that nurtures and supports our creative minds. Finally, we continue in this journey of exploring innovative, sustainable, and inclusive orange economy with a view to realizing its vast potential. I am most optimistic that the future of this industry is brighter than ever before. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, strongly believes that the transformational power of development lies in giving people a chance to participate in their own future. He is therefore committed to strengthening young people's opportunity for living in dignity and economic security in a society that respects and values intergenerational equality, inclusivity, and sustainable development for all. That is why last week his government hosted the first State of the Film Summit since independence to focus efforts on turning around untapped potential for our film industries. In our ministry, our Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Ababu Namwamba, has directed Dr. Tony's agency to take the lead in rethinking and developing and managing the national innovation system. So today, I'll confidently report to you that in Dr. Tony, we're in safe hands. The Kenya Kwanza administration recognizes youth and the creatives as powerful force for change, whose voice, influence, and contribution are increasing everywhere, every day. The President holds the view that young people who forms the bulk of the creatives are not just the future, they are also the present. I give you my assurance that in this government, the youth and creatives will find a dependable supporter and a dedicated facilitator of talent development. I have no doubt that the 47 county governments and indeed all partners have the zeal and enthusiasm to collaborate with the national government and His Excellency the President to deliver for Kenyan youth and the creatives of this nation in turning their dreams into reality and to accord them their rightful place in the socio-economic and political future of Kenya. And that future is now. As I conclude, Dr. Tony reported here that he has been challenged why he decided to take the National Innovation Week Commonwealth Edition to Nairobi. And on the same line, I've also heard my brother P.S. Mohammed told us Mombasa has already had its fair share, that everything that starts in Kenya, it starts from here. Starting from our history and many other goodies that he has mentioned to us, that it starts from here and it goes elsewhere. So I thought in the spirit of inclusivity, Mombasa people will have said, why don't you take this thing to Mandera? Why Nairobi? Because you've had your fair share. You are the first capital of this country. I don't know if the young historians know. PS is right. So next time, I think part of our theme for this week is inclusivity, right? Teteeni watu wengine, nyinyi mumekuwa kidogo na nafasi. But having said that, Dr. Tony, I agree with you. The next edition of Innovation Week, we can have the discussion and start in good time. And let's give the county an opportunity also to host the rest of the country and the world. Dr. You also reported that you have been challenged, or our CEO has been challenged on the State Department, and you have been asked what is our equivalent of Huduma Center for the youth. As a State Department and Ministry, we are putting together what we call Young People's Agenda. I'm happy to report my Cabinet Secretary presented the agenda to United Nations General Assembly that has just ended in New York a week or two ago. And the agenda was adopted as a whole before we even presented to you in the United Nations. That means it's a good thing for our young ones. And in it, we have our version of Huduma Center. We're introducing a kikao where we intend to bring together all the government institutions that deal with service provision around our young people. And since this is a government that works from the grassroots, si munajua ni bottom up, we have decided that we will take this kikao to every ward, and we devolved these services and give our young people information that they require, because we realized a lot of our young people, especially in those far-flung counties, are not aware of government government services that are available to them. So we are introducing our version of Huduma Center in the name of Kikao to reach out to each and every one of our young people in Mashinani. So, Dr. Tony, next time if you are challenged, we have Huduma Center. Now, finally, as I conclude, let me again take this opportunity to thank the management of Swahili Port Hub for putting this together, for spearheading this wonderful program that has given an opportunity and a space to our young people to come together and share their ideas, because there is no idea that is small. That I promise you. as long as you have accepted to challenge the status quo and you go beyond the normal solutions, then you are there. And thank you very much, Dr. and your entire management team for putting this together. And may this Pwani Innovation Week be a catalyst for the transformation we seek. Asanteni sana.
Thank you so much, Bwana PS Ismail Maalim. Now, very fast, because of time, I want to request to just quickly acknowledge a few people who are here. Unajua Bwana PS Mohamed ulikuja hapa ukasema mambo ni mawili, lakini siku hizi tunasema mambo ni matatu bwana. Unakumbuka eh? All right, so very quickly, please allow me in a very fast-paced way, because we have amazing guests who are here, just to confirm and affirm that we are in the right place. I'm just going to call them by name. Once I do that, I request to kindly stand and wave at the people so we can acknowledge you. Let's start with the CEO, National Youth Council in the house. It's not him here, but here you go. Please, makofi tafadhali. Just appreciate them very fast as we go. We also have Jerome, Commercial Attaché, Belgium Embassy. Jerome, if you could kindly stand and just wave at the people. Where are you, Jerome? Oh, I think she has walked out. We also have Lucas, courtesy of Mombasa, right here, Alliance for Science, not Alliance for Science, Alliance, please. Where are you, Lucas? Oh, there you go. There you go. Thank you so much. Dr. Sylvia, Technical University, Mombasa. There you go. Thank you so much for coming as well. We also have the founder House of Talent, Dar es Salaam, is in the house. Where are you? Where are you? I think I had seen you. Oh, there you go. Thank you so much for coming as well. We also have Omar, the Chair Agricultural Fund, Tanzania. Omar, are you here? Omar, looking for you. Oh, there you go. Yes, there you have it. I was checking where you are. Dr. Hassan Tangayetu from Tanga as well is here. Dr. Hassan, where are you? Asante sana kwa kuja as well. Idi Juma as well, local government official in Tanga. I know you're here. Idi Juma, are you still in? I think she's walked out. Oh, there you go. Here, there he is. Thank you so much as well. We also have in the house, all the way from Nairobi, Meringechu, CEO and founder Takani Mali. Where are you, Meringechu? Oh, makofi tafadhali. There you go. She's gonna tell you how waste can make wealth from it later on in the day. We also have in the house Gavoni from Pac Pro. Makofi tafadhali. Watu washape wa madafu. Oh, okay. Welcome to Mombasa. Asante sana. We also have Ebenezer Madi from Kepsa. Makofi tafadhali. Ebenezer strategically sat next to the CEC. I don't know what you want, some brown jeans, but we'll talk about that later. We also have Elizabeth Mweni, Office of the President, representative right here. Makofi tafadhali. There you have it. We also have Jimia Yassin, Nubli Technology. Where are you? There you go. Thank you so much for that. We also have Caroline Gishuki, Tesmo International Limited. There you go. Thank you so much as well. In the house as well, we have some CECs in the present. We have the CC Youth Gender Kenambani. Ukitaka nikuite venye tunakuita kweli nyumbani baraza. Asante, ndio huyo. But they have to tell you this. I know I don't have time to say this, but back there in my village, ladies around used to, I don't know, but I'll tell you behind the tent, you know. CC Water, Emily as well is in the house. CC Water, where are you? Oh, there you go. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. And we have more people as well in the house, but allow me to also acknowledge Mwangi Waituri, Policy Advisor, VSO. Where are you? There you go. Thank you so much, Mr. Mwangi. We also have Helen Onyango. Helen Onyango, are you around? There you go as well, courtesy of Peel VSO. And Michael Onyango, of course, for Beyond the Man. Thank you so much for being here as well. Tanzania House of Talent, Kemi Mutahaba, where are you? I called you. Oh, I just wanted to call your name again. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, this session is officially over, but we cannot end it without gifting the people the way we'd like doing it here. So I want to request my team to kindly come ready for that. And I want to request the PSs in the house to kindly come and start this session off. I want to request Chief Mentor to kindly be here as well, because we want to give them. And I'm going to call as well the board to kindly join me, led by our board chair. Please come. Please come as well. Mahod, if you could kindly come. Tech team, we need this podium out, and the photographers be on standby. If we could have this podium out, we can go without the podium so that the photos can be taken in very fast. Thank you so much. DJ, 1 second. If we could have the Jackie, if we could have the awards coming in straight on. Let's start with this photo of the PSS. Very fast, please bring them in. Bring them in. Please go ahead. Yes, yes, there you go. There you go. Msalimie, thank you so much for coming. This is a good one, good opportunity. Let them flow together very fast because of time. Because of time. Thank you so much. There you go. Usipatie wenyeji. Asante. Asante. Let's look at the cameras, and the cameras are looking at you so that we can. This is for the newspaper front page, so it's important. Now, there you go. May I request kindly Lisa to kindly come as well up. Lisa, if you could kindly come and take your gift. PSS, remain right there. This photo is for everybody who is in. We also have Olivier, please. Olivier, I think, has walked out, but if he can be found, call him in. Let's also have Dr. Frederick Manthi. Kindly come and get your award as well. Dr. Tonny Omwansa as well. Please come. I know you have received many, but we also have enough, so please come. And of course, in absentia, I think Dr. Bitang and Demo Astome can carry his gift back to Belgium. So you can keep that for me. I will take it. So can we have that photo, please? Photo, please, even as they're getting awarded. This is very important. There you go. Sasa pangweni na wenye picha, ndio picha ionekane nzuri kabisa. There you go. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I understand the smiles are looking good. Asanteni sana, and thank you so much for your words of advice. Thank you. You may have your seats. And very fast, we want to transition very quickly into the Harvesting Green Gold, Advancing Coastal Green Economy Initiatives. And I want to request, Kevin, where are you? Kevin, do you have your mic with you? Because you need to call upon the people who are coming in. Please